What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I got a very special video here for you guys today. I had the great pleasure of meeting the great Silva. She is a great Tekken player.
Do it! Just do it!
Okay. Oh my god.
She is a great streamer.
Dude! You cannot just hang in there and look at me. And you cannot just random sneeze like that, okay? What the fuck?
She's an all-around awesome personality. And we talked a good bit about fighting games. We talked a good bit about Tekken. A lot of other topics involved here too. But don't let me hog all the spotlight here.
Hi guys, welcome everybody to this video. It's LuxSylva. Silva is my middle name. So I'm a competitor for Tekken from Tag 2, Tekken Tag 2, and a content creator and streamer. And I want to say thank you to ShinKensou to invite me to this session, and I will be glad to give my opinions and talk about me, my story, my experience with fighting games, with Tekken especially.
We're gonna cut right to it, and hopefully you guys enjoy. Can you give me a little bit of a backstory on your nickname and what it means?
Yeah, LuxSylva is my nickname from 2021. Actually means light of the wilderness, of the wild, in Latin. Latin is the ancient version of Italian, so there's a lot of history of it. I changed it because I think it's giving more like a personal touch, it's more meaningful to me. Because Silva is my first name, I wanted to mix it with Lux, which is not the character from League of Legends.
You heard it here first, guys. It's not Lux from League.
It's not from League of Legends. It's Lux, more like Lux, but it's Lux originally, like this. So it means light in the wilderness. So I mixed that two things. Previously, my nickname was going for Sylvijun, but I felt it was getting too much nostalgic because the character is not in the game anymore. I felt like for a change. And I'm happy with this decision. Also, the meaning is it's like a wish for better things to come, more positivity, about like more light and more positivity. Despite I'm a very positive person myself, it's wishing it even more.
When did you start kind of getting into fighting games?
Basically, I always loved martial arts and fighting. Since I was a kid, I loved to see it, despite not practicing it. So later in the years, it just happened that a childhood friend of mine was giving me this demo of PS1, the PS1 demo. So he gave me that, and there was a lot of classic awesome games of the PS1 era from 97, 98. It was like one of the best moments for video games back then. So you could imagine, there was literally like the best titles back then. So it was Crash 3, Spyro, Tomb Raider, and Tekken 3.
Hey.
Then all the games as well, like Tombi, that like Universal it's Tomba, but Tombi the Italian version, because Tomb actually doesn't mean a good thing over there.
Oh, really?
It's great, so it's not proper to give the name to such title to a video game. So there were so many good Amazon games, and there was Tekken 3. So I really felt like, I don't know, like it just was love at first sight. I felt really like that. It was so fun. Even though I could just play Xiaoyu and Eddie, it was like extremely fun. And I just thought like, okay, now I need to know more about this. I was playing with my friends and we were like doing so many sessions like this. And then later on, I just find out that there's more of them. And then I was surprised, and then I bought the other titles, so like a collectionist in the case. So I collected them, like, because of reasons I got 2 copies of Tekken 3. I didn't even know that, because I thought that one was lost, but it was actually there somewhere. So I found 2 of them, and then I got like Tekken 4 and then Tekken 5, and yeah, I just wanted to know more about it. And I played also the past ones, and it was basically love for the game and martial arts as well. And indeed, I started to practice martial arts, but even though I was already thinking about doing that from some time, because you have like some dojos near where I live, so I started to practice in it. Also karate for some years.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. She has hands. Be careful.
Careful. Oh, just most likely for the discipline you gotta have. More like for like a mental meditation for the technique, not because you gotta be tough guy. People like that.
Gotcha.
It's not the mental. It's not the purpose of karate actually. So yeah, and then after I found out that I was with the internet, I was like, what if there's more than that? And then I found out there's like a whole genre, despite being niche, there's so many different type of fighting games. So I found out Street Fighter, and there was Guilty Gear, and then there was King of Fighters, and then I was, wow, I need to know more about this, because fighting styles are also made in a realistic way, not in all fighting games, but like in Tekken and in Virtua Fighter, for example, it has been more close to, a little bit more realistic than all the others.
Right.
And I find that very inspiring as well. Like some characters have such cool story and charisma, which I thought it was so cool that I wanted felt like very inspired by that. Like literally everything, especially the female characters. Like they have so much cool background, and then they're fiery, and then they are like strong, and then have this determination, strong personality that always inspire me. Probably it was also because of some. I think I have seen already this thing in the past from some anime maybe. That were starting to rising up little by little, like female characters that are not just like fragile that wants to be protected. It was starting to see more in the media female characters that are strong, that can defend themselves. So, for example, like when I found out that Chun-Li is the first female fighting game character, I felt like, wow, that's incredible. And then after that, so many more others, they just came. And then they got added in the games. And I was like, wow, I want to be like them somehow. I don't know, it was inspirational to me. Then just finding out that that's so much more, and then there's like different types of fighting styles, finding out that most of them are kind of realistic. Not all of them, of course, but like the references are to the actual real ones. I find that pretty interesting. It's kind of unique. So that's how I got into fighting games, most likely. Then this thing just grew up on me with the years.
Outside of Tekken, what was your favorite games while growing up?
Back then, I was playing trying many different type of games. I had Spyro, I had Crash, Devil May Cry, Tales of.
Devil May Cry.
I was even playing Gran Turismo games. I was trying literally everything. There's so many, but I think the ones that I left more a mark, that marked me more with the years, I think it was like Final Fantasy X. It was like my first Japan RPG. I don't know, it's just still nowadays one of the best games ever made, I do believe. And then because of like a good childhood memories that gives me, It's the first Wild Arms for PS1. I don't know if many people will remember about that. It's just like was it of those Japan RPG that was made from Sony, Mediavision. It came out just some months earlier than Final Fantasy VII. So because of that, got overlooked from most people. It was actually one of the best Japan RPG games for its time. It was very innovative back then. It was a mix of 2Ds and 3D. And I just left something on me really much. The story and the characters. It was very nice mix of anime and the Western world. And also, I think that it was my dad to make me notice there's many songs in it that take reference to Ennio Morricone, which is an Italian famous lyric singer.
Oh.
Like, you know? Yeah. And so they took inspiration by that. So when I noticed, I was like, wow, how that happened, you know? It was super cool. And the host was super great as well, so I'll say that game. And then, like, when I found out the other 2Ds, I felt like King of Fighters is a very good 2D fighting game. I think it's my favorite one, besides Tekken. And then Devil May Cry, Silent Hill. Silent Hill I found that kind of later. No, not that one, I will say. Resident Evil and Clock Tower. I think Clock Tower was my very first horror game.
Ooh.
So that's why I felt like a good connection also with that series, despite maybe people will not now remember that.
Yeah, that's pretty old.
It was a pretty good, interesting, different type of horror game because you didn't really had a way to defend yourself. You just had to escape, find other ways to continue the game. You know, it was very interesting. So yeah,
Right
those
on.
ones most likely.
What was the catalyst? What pushed you to get into competitive Tekken?
That's a good question. Actually, I've been seeing Tekken from the beginning. Competitive game, despite it was just with friends. I really liked that the adrenaline was giving, like between winning and losing. The game was like giving that adrenaline. Then by just randomly, casually, just found out on the internet that we're doing tournaments offline. And I was shocked that there are actually people that are taking that seriously, despite back then was still not called like eSports. It didn't have a name back then.
Right.
But I find that so interesting that I have seen like important faces of the community that were competing. Actually, there were some players that inspired me when I saw them playing. Gave me so much inspiration back then. I was like a small little girl, but seeing so much passion for a game that I was really liking and enjoying, and seeing it from people that are older than me, and that are so focused, that so keen to it, that I felt like it was pretty interesting, and I wanted to give a try. Of course, at first I was like, I don't know, I need to see how it feels like. Then later in the years, I tried to put myself out there. So I have been watching and seeing some tournaments from past Tekkens already, been to some events, but I started to compete more with Tekken Tag 2. So
Okay.
already with the nationals, smaller tournaments to bigger tournaments. I took part to many tournaments, many in the years, because now it's been like around 10 years or so.
Long time.
So yeah,
Feel it? I feel
yeah,
it.
one of the few that's still around playing and doing so many tournaments. Wow, it's been so much interesting, like seeing the evolution of the players and of the scene. Literally saw people growing up.
Right.
It's something else you don't really see elsewhere with any other community. Because it was also that made me stick around, like watching people playing and being so passionate, keen about that. It was always giving me some kind of, giving me like good positivity feelings, you know.
I see.
Especially with fighting games that you need to meet offline to play good, because online it still doesn't really give the same experience. So you're forced to go to offline tournaments. Just go out, take the train, take the airplane and go to the tournament. So yeah, you really need to put the effort out there. And then it's very hard to explain to a person that doesn't know this word, you know? So I kept that for me many times, but now I feel like it's something I can express it better, because now people seem more accepting also this.
What's your approach to competitive play?
I always took part to tournaments, even if I was aware that I was not fully trained or that I didn't practice in some last weeks. I always loved anyway to test myself out there. Anyway, like there's always new things to learn, the competition itself, and anyway, I always give a try, because in the tournament itself you learn. If you don't do mistakes, you don't learn. So it's a mistake itself to taking part to the tournament only when you feel ready, because you will never know actually when you're really ready. You just gotta practice and do mistakes. So if you never do mistakes, you're not gonna learn. Unless you're already bored, perfect. I don't feel like people are like that. So of course, that's what I did. I always tried, even if I was not feeling always ready, or even if I was stopping to play for some time, because I actually took several breaks. That's what I did, to be more healthy about the relationship with the game as well, and my life. So, like, even though I competed for more than 10 years, there's been times that I took several breaks. That is a thing that I recommend to people. Even if you just want to be very competitive and you're very competitive about it, if you never take some breaks, it's gonna literally, it's just, you're not gonna stand that mentally. It's gonna destroy you in the end. Unless you're sure that you can always release your stress somehow with a sport or going out. So when I compete, I want to do good. At the same time, I want to be good with myself. I want to feel great. I want to feel healthy. So, for example, like there are some tournaments that I took more like for a practice than just expecting to do great. Because I think also this is important to do. Some tournaments are just a test that are practice themselves. And then when there's a period of time that you got more lucky, that you got more time to spend to prepare for next tournament, you do it. So, for example, there are some tournaments that I did pretty well, and I'm actually proud of myself, but I actually had like a moment where I could focus more on the game. So that's what I did for some tournaments in Tag 2 and then in Tekken for the first 2 seasons. And I'm pretty happy with my decision, because also the relationship with the game has to be healthy, and that's something that most people doesn't understand. So I would like to put some awareness also on this. Also, because competitive video games can be very stressful. So it's important to know how to balance well your life and the game. I wanted to find that out.
What was your most memorable tournament experience?
There's been like so many memorable tournaments as well I can remember. Like for example, tournaments organized in Italy, I would say like the Battle Dome, and then the tournaments organized in Naples from Bode, the legendary Tekken Italian player, I think people know him. I organized a great tournament in Naples also kind of recently, 2 months ago. And he has been organizing them as well in the past, so that's been 1, 2, 3, 4 many editions, and always been very nice, because that was been at one of the highest level I have ever seen in Europe. There's always like guests that are super strong. So in the past there was always a strong Korean player, and then like this time there was Anakin, and then like people from all over the world, and I think always been like the most difficult tournament you can take part in Europe, but that doesn't mean stressful, because also Naples is a place that also you can eat the most good food. I was always on good food, like during the tournament you could see players just eating their pastries and then enjoying their pizza together, and then also all these cultures, because in Europe there's so many different languages and cultures, and then you meeting up, then you don't just play, then later on you go and get out to eat something together. That might be the pizza, but also might be some other great foods that the Mediterranean cuisine has. And I think that's one of the most interesting parts also the competitions in Europe, I will say, because there you get in contact with so many different languages. So most of the time you have to switch from 3 to 4 languages when you speak to people, you know, and it's something so unique that you don't really find that much elsewhere because there's so many nations with so many cultures, and I feel like it's super great, it's unique, you don't really find that much elsewhere. So that's a pretty big thing on it.
Can you share with me your thoughts on FGC becoming more esports?
So about FGC becoming a bigger esports in the future, my thoughts about that is like, I might say that not everywhere has been evolving and progressing well in every part of the world. It's not really like that. So some places, some regions have been getting bigger in terms of chances, sponsors, organizations, valorization of the sports as well. For FGC, it's not the same in every part of the world, so of course, as we saw, and I have seen that that it's growing up, it's getting better little by little, but I would like to see a big change once for all, because fighting games are one of the most difficult genre or competitive, if not the most difficult, because there's so much to consider in that. There's not just execution or just good reflexes, just so much knowledge, crazy knowledge about that, and timings and mind reading on so many different options. Because in other games, most likely the options are just not as much as fighting games. Okay, maybe we could do the very other few example we got is for games like MOBA, but fighting games, there's so much more to consider, because there's also the monitors, the frame data, it is so much, and seeing it not so much explored or like not enough sponsored, it makes me a little bit sad, because I don't feel like it's fair. It's not fair, because it's one of the most difficult genre, and you're not really and people are not really sponsoring that, helping in that to getting bigger. And I've seen it growing very well in North America, in Korea, in Japan, or even in China on other games, but I haven't seen it lacking in other places. So I hope in some years we're gonna see a significant change. So hopefully there's more like more showing more the game. So the game will not just be a niche game, it's going to be bigger. It's going to get more interesting and appealing also to see to new people and new faces. So the community is going to get bigger and bigger. Hopefully I will see this in the future in some years, but hopefully soon. Hopefully soon, because it really deserves.
How do you feel about Tekken 8?
Well, it was crazy when I found that out, because it was just a big tournament I took part with, and I saw this trailer. I just after it, I was like, what the hell is happening now? Just taking a trailer like that, and in that moment I was sick, so I couldn't really do a video about that, but I'm telling you now, I was like, wow, I was shocked. I was shocked when I saw that it seemed pretty much changed. When I saw the 2 minutes gameplay under the rain, and then Jin and then Kazuya, and then I saw that their faces, they grow older, and there's still the emphasis that characterize Mishima's and Kazaku's story. So I was like, wow, okay, now I need to know when these will come out. And eventually, but most likely, what are the other characters that are gonna get introduced to it? Because I noticed something. So when I saw that Kazuya during the trailer attacked Jin with his forward 3 move on block, usually until Tekken 7, the two characters will stay close to each other at a distance, at a close distance. But in the trailer, look at like Jin was pushed away pretty much. So I was like, okay, this is gonna change the game mechanics a lot already. So if moves on advantages are gonna push away characters, wow, that's gonna change a lot. So what's gonna happen? Are they gonna make the game more easier? For certain things, like for example the quantity of moves, Tekken has been always way too difficult because there's too much quantity of it. What about the quality though? Because you're confusing new players. So I would make the game less floated of moves. Also nerf some moves as well, making it more understandable for new gamers. I have heard many times from 2D fighting games players that they don't know how to play Tekken because it's just so different from everything else. Just literally different. So even competitors from 2Ds that would like to join 3D fighting games, like in this case mostly Tekken, it's hard. There's too much stuff, too much confusing. So hopefully they're gonna reduce this quantity of moves, make them also hopefully there's less random situation coming up with the hitboxes and hardboxes thing, because it's way too casual, especially at the wall. So about the Rage Art and Rage Drive, I have mixed feelings about that. For some things I like it, for other things I'm not quite sure. So at least trying to nerfing them a little bit, adjusting them, if not totally changing them at this point. And then I would like to see a better stage design, because Tekken 7 has been lacking of it. I didn't really like stage design. Tekken 7 felt pretty lazy to me. Past Tekken's had great stages and great music. I haven't really seen it in Tekken 7, and I really felt like that was making me tired of the game more easily. Despite I really played it anyway, I still felt like Tekken Tag 2 had a better inspired stages. So there was the stage in Italy, the stage in Barcelona, the stage in Netherlands. It was quite nice, I always loved that. But Tekken 7, then you see the laboratory stage, the helicopter stage, pre-volcano stages. I really cannot compare them. I cannot. I really hope they're gonna do better stage design for that. And about the characters, so the juicy topic now. The characters.
Well,
Juice.
give it to me. Give it to me. I'm trying to hear about it. I'm trying to hear about the characters. Come on, you know this is what everyone wants to know. They want to hear what LuxSylva thinks about the characters. What do you want?
Who I want, okay.
Yeah, go for it.
So about the Tekken 8, the roster for Tekken 8, hopefully I will see Jin, and not Devil Jin, because now it seems he can control Devil Jin power. Kazuya, not Heihachi this time, unless they still want to keep him, but I hope not, because otherwise it's an extra meme again. All the Tekken 7 characters, just not Gigas, because reasons, you know. And I want to see in the storyline of also the storyline of getting better with those newcomers, and then we're gonna see new Tekken 8 comers. So I guess at least 4 slots already. So it's already 10 slots occupied, and then the classics wanna see, of course, Paul, Lau, Lei. I would like to see Lei again. Anna, even though people put her at DLC. And I would like to see, as I said, Xiaoyu, Lily, Atsuka, Chloe. Katarina, please give her a better trousers design, please. But Katarina, her moves, I think, fits pretty well. Fits pretty well, Tekken. What are the characters? I hope to not see Fang, please. Please, don't force us to like Fang, please. Same as Garyu. Please, why are you forcing us?
There are people that
like everything.
There's people that like him.
Well, you're right. I guess. I mean, no, but Fang is actually a pretty cool character. There's very nice moves, but But need to fix his face. If they don't fix his face, I don't want to see him. Stop.
Okay.
So what other characters do we have? I don't know. Just keep them as small for now. So those four new enters at least. Yoshimitsu, of course. Nina, well, yes, Nina, Anna. And yeah, I guess those ones, because then we need to consider also the new entries that we will see. So, you know.
So how do you feel about, creating content for fighting games?
Doing content for fighting games, it's really challenging. I do believe, because you need to find and to study well fighting games themselves as a genre. You really need to know what you're talking about, I do believe. Even though I have seen as well like some content creators that talks about it, but they don't have really a clear idea. It's not easy because there's so much to it, and people are just not taking it the right way, I do believe. And there's a lot to study, especially it depends on what kind of content you want to make. Because if you want to do some content that is about something deep in game, there's a lot to study about. To talk about it, you're gonna need some experience in it, and it's gonna take some years. So I don't believe it's like for everybody, unless you're just doing like for the very casual audience as well. Depends what kind of content, but most of the time it's not easy. You still need tons of study to do just simple video reference to some fighting game, because there's so much to study about that. Because fighting games have so many patches or like different titles of the same title itself, and so you gotta keep it up. So, like for example, like even Street Fighter has so many patches and different Street Fighter's versions, so there's a lot to study about that. Same as for King of Fighters, like there's King of Fighters 94, 95, 96, 97, and going on, you know?
Yeah.
And you better gonna know what's behind the game itself, not just knowing about the latest one. So you see, it's challenging, not for everybody, unless you want to keep it superficial. But I don't feel like you're gonna do this if you like this genre. So myself, for example, I did a lot of research since I was in high school. So I did tons of researches. I also checked all the games that like people maybe even forgot about those games, but I took a look to it. Actually, like it's another word for real, like another dimension. I feel like it's something that needs to be done in a certain way, much more different from other games, I do believe. For Tekken, I don't really see many, just very few names, but most of the time it's just about some generic stuff. But that will be nice to see more of them are coming, that also gonna give an extra insight in it, not just a superficial one.
What are your goals going into 2023?
for now my FGC goals for 2023. I admit I'm still trying to visualize better what I'm gonna do with it. Despite, one thing is sure that I would like to keep going. I like to keep doing more streamings and trying to explore more about the other social media as well. And when Tekken 8 will come out, I would like to join more offline events and competing again. We will have to see when it will come out because we don't know if it's 2023 or 2024. So for now, I will keep doing what I was doing earlier, and I will be fine. Maybe I have set too many limits until now. This feeling. I had to stop several times, but I wish now I can organize. Hopefully I will organize more my work so I can take more content and exploring the game even better. So hopefully that. I would like to see Tekken in a more appealing way for girls. Despite there are female players, like girl players for Tekken, because also talking with my friends, they enjoy Tekken, they like Tekken, they also privilege or just pick female characters most of the time, or I see them picking Jin, Mishima's Lee, Warang, Lei, but I do believe Tekken needs more younger male characters, so a little bit for service also for girls, because I don't find it equal then. So why just making it just for guys if now just also girls are playing video games? So also in Tekken I would like to see it more appealing also for girls. I would like to see less serious, not too much serious, but also some more fun service characters that are gonna be interesting, because Tekken most likely has those characters that are like 40 plus years old, which is okay, I understand it, but we cannot have this strange balance of having like teenagers, girls, teenagers, and then guys 30 years old. Like it can't be this extreme. I would like to have more equality. Also, younger male characters can be interesting. We just have Jin. I cannot really think much of else of it. I'm not even sure about Bob. I'm not even sure. Like most of them are like around 40. Not quite sure about Claudio or Shaheen. But I would like to see more characters that girls also, well, I can appreciate, and better customization. Better customization, because I cannot have the same customization we had in Tag 2 having it for the same generation now, and that for next game. I would like to have like a little better of it, you know. Not asking like Soul Calibur, but at least advanced, more expanded in a sense. So that's my little request for next game, a personal one.
Can you tell the good people out here where they can find and enjoy your content?
Yes, guys, you can find me on Twitch, so twitch.tv LuxSylva. I also have a TikTok, but I'm posting now some clips, and I have an Instagram, LuxSylva _Twitch. I have also Twitter, LuxSylva _, and YouTube. I have also YouTube, where I post some clips and past VODs. So you can find me there. Hopefully, hope to see you also in my streams. Would like to hang out with you and have good and chill sessions, and also competitive ones in Tekken, and some horror games as well, time to time.